So the Zonescan loggers is more of a survey tool. The Aquascan 610 is more of an emergency tool. Think of it this way. The Zonescan loggers are great when you say, we've got a lot of water loss in our system, but we don't have the slightest idea of where it's going, okay? That's when you use the Zonescan loggers. You're gonna put out 18 of these in a particular subdivision or an area somewhere. They're gonna scan that whole area. With 18 loggers, you should be able to cover roughly, 2 miles of pipe in one night of overnight surveying. And then you're going to get the data the next day and say, yep, there's no leaks in this area. We're going to move them somewhere else. Or, whoa, hold on. We've got a leak showing up in this area. We can now take the 610 out again, the 610 piece of equipment out, because we know where the leak is. We know what block or what street or what corner that leak is showing. We can now take the 610 out, shoot the leak one more time, and have absolute confidence when we put our spray paint X on the ground that this is where the leak is, and that when we dig, we're going to hit it, and we're going to be within an inch of accuracy. Okay, so Zonescan loggers, got a lot of water loss in my system, don't know where it's going. Aquascan 610, I've got a leak on the 100 block of Elm Street. I need to go out there and pinpoint it because I got a backhoe ready to dig. Okay, so that's the main difference between the two pieces of equipment, and they do work hand in hand. When the Zonescan loggers show a leak, and many times these Zonescan loggers are going to indicate leaks that you had no idea existed. There's no water bubbling up. You had no customer complaints. There's no poor pressure. It's a complete surprise that the leak is there. Now you know the leak is there. Take the 610 piece of equipment out, shoot it one more time. You should get very close to where the loggers told you where the leak is, and the 610 tells you where the leak is. Those X's should be at pretty much the same spot on the street. Then you have full confidence that I'm going to dig a hole and it's going to be dead on, and I don't have to worry about digging a dry hole. So that's the general scope of how this equipment works. So tell me a little bit about your system. I mean, where do you stand with leaks, and what type of leak detection have you done in the past? Do you have any experience at all with electronic leak detection?
We've had somebody come out into our system with a correlator.
Oh, okay.
Point A, I think it had 3 points, maybe.
Right. Yeah. Some correlators have 3 points.
And,
yeah.
And they came out and we would get so many miles of pipe done. Not sure what they would charge, but it's
right.
quite expensive to have someone come out and do it. And then maybe they pinpoint something, then they would also listen to it.
Right. Of course.
To try and pinpoint it closer to where it's at. So
okay.
That's the extent of what we've done with leak detection. And yes, we've come up with some leaks that we didn't know we had and dug them up, and they were there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we have about 9% loss at this point in our system.
Yeah, about 9% loss in our system right now.
What percent?
9%.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, we can certainly
get that down. But
yeah, it's not too bad, but we can certainly get that down. Should be able to get it down below 5%.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Right.
What type of pipe material do you folks typically have?
Most our service lines are copper. Our main lines are AC.
Okay.
C900 or not very much, but some ductile.
Okay. Okay. A lot of AC though.
A lot of AC.
Okay. Great. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So what I want to cover today is teaching you how to turn the loggers on. So you're going to need your case of loggers, which it's nearby, so you don't have to pull them out. You will need your communication link, and you will need the tablet. That was there a tablet, an Android tablet that came with the kit? Looks something like suspiciously like this.
Looks a pretty tablet.
Yeah.
There's a flap on the opening part
What
There's
is
a
it?
there's a
The
flap
top,
on
the
the
top of the
opening
thing.
lid,
Yeah.
like a little foam flap. Open that up.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
There's a charger in there too.
We've got the tablet and the
There we go.
charger with
Okay,
it.
great.
Cool.
Hopefully everything's all charged up. What you have in your hands is an Android tablet. The Zonescan loggers are going to be turned on and deployed and collected using the app on the tablet. So go ahead and turn on your tablet a while. And you should see, Max, is the logger set for these loggers all set up and everything on the
Yeah,
tablet?
the logger set is in there.
Okay, okay. And
And
all the passwords are set?
the passwords are set. The Bluetooth should auto connect to the
Okay, okay, okay. All right, I see you have your app on. Now turn on your comm link. The little comm link has a little button on the front of it.
Oh, goodness.
Pay attention. It's all right.
Gotcha.
Hey, it's Monday. We get it. We're
Monday,
feeling
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I've been stuck in this basement for 10 weeks. So
Yeah.
turn the button on so it'll blink a few times and then you'll get a nice steady red light. Okay.
Got that.
It's a Bluetooth connection between the tablet and your comm link. Max just stated that he already made the Bluetooth connection, so it's already on your tablet. You will see the Zonescan Smart app.
Yep.
It's got the little Guterman G icon. Go ahead and tap on that to open up the app. And you should see, you might see a map. Did the map screen open up, or a list of loggers? What do you have there? I'm trying to see what you have on your screen.
I don't know how close. I just got a little guy standing in the middle.
Oh, okay, that's the map screen. Okay, okay, you're good. You're good. That's gonna zip up. You're eventually gonna see a map on your tablet, like you see on my tablet here. Down at the corner, at the lower right-hand corner, there is a little map refresh button. You might want to tap that, but because you're inside, you may not be getting good maps.
We don't get very good reception inside our building.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Max, is the Arizona map on the tablet too?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and it's set. Okay. All right. I'm not going to be.
It should
don't
be
worry.
set.
Once you get outside, you'll see this map once you get outside. Okay. But what I need you to do in the meantime, you will see in the upper left-hand corner a 3 horizontal line menu button.
Yeah.
Okay. So tap on that, and that opens up the main menu that looks something like this.
Yes.
Okay. Reading from the top down, you'll see map, which we just didn't see, but there, trust me, there's a map there once you go outside. Then you'll see table, which you'll see the table function in a second. That'll be the list of all of your loggers. And then the next 4 menu items: program loggers, deploy loggers, collect loggers, and get data and program loggers are going to be the 4 steps that you will take every time you decide to take these loggers out into the field to do a leak listening. Okay. The program loggers and deploy loggers you will do on day 1. So today we're going to program loggers, and then when you get out in the field, hopefully you're going to deploy them today. You're going to deploy loggers, and then we're going to let them listen overnight. And then tomorrow when you collect the data, you're going to come back and you're going to do collect loggers and get data and program. So there's 4 steps, but they're divided in 2. You'll do 2 on day 1, 2 on day 2. Okay? This is super simple stuff. So what I want you to do is go ahead and tap on program loggers.
Do we want to name an area or not yet?
Yeah, we can do that. I tell you what. Thanks, JD. Up at the upper left-hand corner, there is a back arrow. Tap the back arrow, and that brings you back to the menu.
Okay.
And Max is now sharing the screen here, so you should see what I'm talking about. And I can use my pointer. Max can use his pointer. Okay, so go back to the main menu, the 3 horizontal line. So you can see where we're at. And down below you'll see measurements, projects, and areas. every time you take the loggers out into the field, you are going to create a new area name. You don't have to do anything with the projects. I think the project is preset. Max preset the project. So the project is good. You will tap on area. So go ahead and tap on the area menu item. And that opens up a window for you to create a new area. You'll see up in the upper left-hand corner of that window, a little plus icon. So go ahead and tap on new area. And now you can name this area whatever you want to name it to organize your data. You know, Willow Hollow neighborhood, or 200 to 600 block of Main Street, or whatever you want to name it to identify this listening activity that you're about to do.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and do that. And you
Yeah.
can always come back and change the name. So don't worry about this being written in stone. If you develop a name and you don't like it in 2 days, we can always go back and edit it. But just go ahead and type in something.
And just while we're doing that, remember that you're going to create an area today, and then tomorrow, if you do a different one, if you want to do the same area, we just have to change it by one character, okay? So our
Yes,
naming,
every time you take your loggers out into the field for a new deployment, you're going to create a new area name.
Okay.
This is going to be important later on when we send the data up to Zonescan Net. Zonescan Net is your internet-based dashboard. Zonescan Net is going to save all of your listening activity. So at the end of the year, if you want to do a year-end report of where you put your loggers out, what areas you covered, what leaks you found, you're going to have a list, a menu drop-down list of all the different areas that you deployed. And you can, print your reports and do your reports for city council and so on and so forth. Okay, so you created a new area name, and then you hit the OK button. And now you should be back at the map screen. Which you're not seeing the map, but your area name should now be at the top of the blue title bar at the top of the tablet.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so now you're set. You've created the area name. The tablet's now ready to do leak detection activity with that area. So now tap on the 3 horizontal line menu again.
Sorry.
Tap on the 3 horizontal line to get back to the main menu.
Got it.
Now tap on program loggers. You're going to get ready to program loggers, and Max is running running a simulation on the screen here, so he's going to catch up in a second to where we're at. So now you should see your list of loggers, right? Do you see your list of hold on, Max is going to get us to that point here in a second. Do you see a screen that looks like that?
Same thing. Yep.
Okay, very good. So that's all of your 18 loggers. Each logger has a unique 6-digit serial number. There's a checkbox next to each one saying that we're going to turn everyone on. So now go ahead and hit the next button at the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
And now you're going to see the radio and measurements setting window. There are 2 settings that you need to make sure that are turned on: the noise level measurements and the correlation. And both of them have a little green slider, a little slider bar to the right of them. Make sure that they're both slid to the on position. Okay? And underneath noise level measurements, there's some fine print. There's always fine print. It says start at 2 a.m., duration maybe 1 or 2 hours. Does it say start at 2 a.m.?
Yes.
And the duration is
1 hour.
Okay, that's fine. And then under correlation, it should also say start at 2 a.m.
Yes.
And then I think it says 3 block.
Yes. 3 blocks.
Yep.
Block duration 12 seconds.
Yep. And then there's a block pause of anywhere from like 44 to 200 seconds or something like that.
This says 888 seconds.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Let me real briefly explain what this is. These loggers can pinpoint down to the very inch of where a leak is located on the length of pipe. In order to do that, they are going to do a correlation at night. Between 2 and 3 a.m., they're going to do correlations. The way you have your correlations set up is it's going to start at 2 a.m. and it's going to do 3 correlations, okay? But each correlation is going to start and stop, and in between each of those 3 correlations is going to be 800 seconds or whatever it says, okay, which is like 15 minutes or something like that, okay? The reason Zonescan does 3 separate correlations separated by that 15 minutes of pause is in case there's a service draw occurring during one of those correlations. As you can see, the correlation is only 12 seconds long. So the logger is going to wake up at 2 a.m. and do a correlation listening for 12 seconds. And then they're going to turn off and wait 15 minutes. Then they're going to turn on again and do a second 12-second long correlation recording. And then they're going to turn off for another 15 minutes when they finally wake up and do their third 12-second long correlation. So they're doing those listenings and they're spacing it over time in case there's a service draw going on at during that time. And the software will realize that if there was a service draw during one of those 12-second long correlations, and because the correlations are only lasting 12 seconds, it's not a stretch of the imagination to have a service draw going on during that entire 12 seconds. Someone's doing a dishwasher or filling up a laundry machine. That's a service draw that lasts more than 12 seconds. And because the service draw is lasting the whole 12 seconds, Zonescan is thinking, hey, this might be a leak, because a leak is going to be a sound that's always there. A leak doesn't go away and start up and stop and start. It's always there. So Zonescan is looking for a constant sound that is always there to hone in on the leak. So that first 12-second long recording might be recording a washing machine filling up. And at first, Zonescan's going to say, hey, ooh, I think we're hearing a leak here. That sound was there for the whole 12 seconds that I was awake doing my listening. But then a second correlation recording happens 15 minutes later. And by that time, the washing machine is filled up, the service draw has ended. And on that second 12-second long recording, the logger doesn't hear the leak that it heard in the first correlation. And then it says, oh, you know what, forget about it. This cannot be a leak because it disappeared in the second recording. And then the third recording, no sound. Then the logger says, oh, absolutely. I'm going to ignore that sound in the first correlation because that leaks, if that was a leak, it should have been in the second and the third correlation, because leaks just don't magically repair themselves. As much as we wish they would, it doesn't. So the logger then would say, hey, you know what? I was wrong there, the first one. It must have been a service draw because it wasn't in the second and the third recording, and therefore no leak. Okay? Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so now that your correlations are set, your noise level measurements and your correlation are turned on. You always want to turn both on. You're going to hit the start button at the bottom of the screen. And now the tablet should be waking up the loggers. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see a little progress bar, waking or searching for loggers or waking up loggers. Do you see that?
Yep. We're at 50.
Okay, and that's what you want to see. Keep your eye on that just to make sure that everything's working. There's no moving parts or anything for you to see that it's working other than that little indicator down there. That should always be making some sort of progress, waking up the loggers, and then you will see the loggers be turned on one at a time.
Yep.
And after each logger, you'll see programmed, 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 programmed as it goes down, all 18 loggers. So we'll give the Comlink and the tablet a minute or so to reach out and turn on the loggers. What the app and the Comlink is doing right now is it's taking those time settings that we just set, the noise level and the correlation, and telling the loggers, hey guys, wake up tonight at 2 a.m. or tomorrow morning at 2 a.m. You are going to do a listening. So once we program all these loggers in the next minute or so, these loggers are ready to do their work, and they will listen tonight at 2 a.m. So give it a second to work through and turn on all the loggers, and just let me know when it's turned on all 18 loggers.
We're halfway.
Okay.
Okay. And Cody, if you didn't want to do all 18, you could have at that point where the check boxes were by each logger. You could have
highlighted them.
Yeah, you can
You could
uncheck
deselected.
them. Yeah, unchecked. But I like turning them all on to make sure that they're all awake and listening. You don't, now that we've turned on all 18, if you are going to take them out and deploy them today, you don't have to deploy all 18. You can deploy as many as you want. You don't have to worry about the ones that were not deployed. Zonescan Smart is called Zonescan Smart for a reason, because Zonescan is going to realize that you didn't deploy, 7 loggers, and it's not going to worry about it. It's just going to tell those loggers, hey guys, you're not included today. You're not in the starting lineup. Go take a seat. So you don't have to do anything. So turn on all the loggers, deploy what you want, and don't worry about the ones that are benched.
Okay.
If Zonescan reaches out and turns on all 18 of your loggers, it's going to automatically move ahead to the next step, which is deploy loggers. But on occasion, Zonescan will miss one of the loggers.
It did. It missed one.
Okay, so once it goes through all the remaining 17 loggers, you're going to see a button appear at the bottom of the screen that says retry the 1 missed or retry the 2 missed. Go ahead and tap on that, and the comm link will reach back out to that particular logger and wake it up.
Okay.
It's Monday, so even the loggers have a tough time waking up.
Right. Not just me.
Right, it's everything. And then just keep retrying till it turns it on, and then it's going to move it ahead to the map screen again.
And Cody, we are recording this. A copy of it sent to you, so if you forget a step or so, you're going to be able to use this.
Oh, perfect.
But we're also going to send you a Zonescan, the start to finish tutorial video for this particular piece of equipment, as well as the 610.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I am back to the map.
Okay. While you're on the map, do me a favor quick. Tap on the 3-dot menu in the upper right-hand corner. 3 dots. You see the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner?
No, because up in that.
Oh, there's a little tutorial thing.
Yeah.
I tell you what, tap on the 3-line menu in the upper left-hand corner.
I don't see that either.
Okay. Go ahead and tap the next button on the tutorial button.
All right.
Do you see the 3-line menu in the upper left-hand corner now?
Nope.
Okay. Hit the.
I think it's just because we don't have service.
Yeah, no, that's all right. Hit the back button on the tablet. I think you have a hard back button on the. Yeah, okay.
Oh, I don't want the board.
Get to the point where you see the 3-line menu in the upper left-hand corner.
It's asking me to abort.
Yeah, go ahead and hit OK. You're okay. You're not really aborting anything. The loggers are turned on. We're just.
All right. Now I'm back to the.
Up in the upper left-hand corner, the 3-line menu. Tap on that.
Yep.
And then tap on settings down below.
Got it.
And then tap on general. And then unclick the show tutorial.
Okay.
Okay, now you can hit the back button again to get back. Keep hitting the back button. I think you got to hit it twice to get back to the map.
Yep.
Or what would be the map. Now you should see the 3-dot menu in the upper right-hand corner.
Yes.
Tap on that, and then tap on map, and then tap on select map. And is Arizona selected, the green dot?
Yes.
Okay, so hit OK. You're okay with that. I just wanted to make sure that was selected. Okay, yeah, when you get outside, you'll see the map refresh. And there is that little refresh button down at the lower right-hand corner that you'll tap on, and
Right.
the map will zoom up real nice.
Yeah, 'cause I'm
But yeah,
assuming the time will change on this also once we get service outside. Because we're
oh, that's a
we're
good,
on your time zone.
that's a good point.
the
Okay,
tablet.
okay. Let us. Do you have Wi-Fi in your office there?
Yes,
Let's go ahead and try to make Wi-Fi connection on the tablet.
let's do it.
So slide, pull the top of the screen down, and that opens up the slider. And then
Okay.
tap on the settings gear button. It's like a little bicycle gear. And then, are you there? Are you?
Yep.
And then tap on connections. And then make sure your Bluetooth is on, and then tap on Bluetooth, and you're gonna have to make connection to your Bluetooth, the network.
Not giving me a link house to see. Oh, it's main conference?
For Wi-Fi?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Okay, you guys know that? The password. It's written down in the room.
854 7010
40.
7040.
10.
Okay, try it. Isn't it the IT number?
Yeah. If this doesn't connect, I'll be right back. I gotta go get the password.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, let's get this connected because it's gonna make a big difference.
All right, I'll be right back.
Yep.
The numbers, Crystal has it
Right on there, Dad.
taped to something there. I've seen it there. 70.
Eric, we're trying to change the time settings for their time zone, right?
Yeah, we're gonna change the settings and return them on again.
I thought it was 14.
4010.
I'm gonna get another cup of coffee while we wait.
There you go.
So these things can do about 2 miles per scan. Pretty expensive.
We're only off by one number. 6 feet apart. Okay, we're good.
Okay, so now let's see if did your clock change?
No.
Okay, so let's go in and manually back into the settings on the tablet. There should be a date and time or general management to tap on where you can set your language, date and time. You see that?
In settings, device,
Yeah, I'm not sure how your menu looks.
right. Sounds and notifications, display,
Nah, it won't be that.
notifications, users, wallpaper, lock screen.
Is there a general management or a general?
Nope.
Nothing.
Hold on.
What's at the very top?
Battery, storage, date and time. Here we go.
Okay, there you go. Go ahead and set
Here we
that.
go.
Huh?
Takes me a while.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's Monday. We'll blame it on Monday today. Tomorrow, can't
Right.
can't do. So yeah, go ahead and set that time. So it appears now in the upper in your upper corner of the tablet.
There should be an automatic date and time. Is there, Cody?
Yeah, there is an yeah, you can do an automatic date and time. There should be a slider
Yep.
you tap on date and time, automatic date and time should be slid
Yeah.
on.
We're good.
Okay, okay, okay. Back out of everything. Go back to your Zonescan Smart app and see if your map may not pop up yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Now that you're getting good and going into settings, well, let's go back into the settings on the tablet. And let's do, hold on, let me see what I have to get to get to.
I'm playing video games.
Cody, how many miles of pipe do you guys have? Do you know?
500 and some.
500 something miles.
500 something? Okay.
Yeah.
That's about what we had at the utility I was at. So, I mean, it's a good sized utility.
Yeah.
You'll definitely find these loggers to be very helpful and, kind of take away some of your worries of your infrastructures as you focus on other priorities because these are in the ground now.
That could be easy to use.
Hold on, I'm trying to find where the GPS settings is on the tablet. Location. Nope.
Eric, so if you go into the little search magnifier, you can just put in GPS and
Yeah,
it'll just it'll let you toggle the location.
GPS. I'm having a tough time getting connected to here.
Yeah.
Biometrics location. Biometrics location.
Should be at the bottom.
Location. Okay. Wait. I'm not getting it. No, I'm not getting the GPS location that I want.
What about you, Cody? Are you able to find that in your menu, the GPS?
No, I'll go looking.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah,
I'll find it. Yeah, there's a way to turn on your GPS to toggle off of your Wi-Fi. The way the GPS works in these tablets, the lowest level of accuracy is the tablet directly connecting to the GPS satellites. And because you're inside, you're not getting that. But you can turn on the GPS. You can fine tune and increase the accuracy of the GPS by going into the settings on the tablet and selecting connect via Wi-Fi to increase your GPS accuracy. But I'm having a tough time now finding where that is on my Android app. So we're looking for that.
Would it be in the Google location services, Eric?
I don't think so.
That says it'll allow you to improve your accuracy.
Oh, okay, okay. Where's that under, JD?
So I went to GPS, and then if you back out, it'll take you to Find My Mobile.
Oh,
And
okay.
then it'll tell you the Google location service.
Okay, yep, I see that. I see that. So that
Right
is
under remote control.
biometrics and security. Okay, on the main screen where you had your connections, you should see something called biometrics and security as one of the setting subtitles. You see that? Biometrics and/or security.
So not in my settings?
Yes, go open up the settings.
Yep.
And where the tablet lists all the settings categories, one of them should be biometrics and security. You see that?
No.
Okay. Let's
Cody, what if you type in GPS?
yeah, go up, use the little magnifying glass and type in GPS settings or GPS.
And then once you hit
No,
that, then you should Google location service.
no results found for GPS.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
All right,
It's Monday.
Max is
I don't know if you can see my screen or not.
Max is TeamViewer installed on that tablet?
I'm sorry, Eric, can you say that again?
Is TeamViewer installed on that tablet?
I did not install it on that. In fact, I think
Okay,
we should
we can
start
do that.
installing them on all new ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you? It's in Play Store, right?
Yes. So it would
Okay.
be,
Can you guys open up the Google Play Store on the tablet? There should be an icon for Google Play Store.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and open that, and then type in TeamViewer. We're going to download an app onto the tablet that's going to allow me to see your screen on
Yes.
our computers.
So it's
Okay,
going to
what am I
be,
typing in?
TeamViewer, TeamViewer, TeamViewer.
it's going to say TeamViewer. You should type in TeamViewer quick support.
Yep.
TeamViewer quick support.
And
Go ahead
it'll-
and download that quick onto the tablet.
And trust me, this isn't always going to have to happen this way, guys. It's going to be a quick setup.
Yeah,
and
this
deploy.
is easy. Yeah, we're just making sure that the tablet's on your time zone and everything and accurate. Once we get this thing on Arizona time, we'll be good.
Yeah, it looks like, you can't really see mine, but it has a QS in the top left-hand corner.
We're getting there.
That's good.
It's installing.
This will make it real easy then. And then once it downloads, go ahead and open it up and do all the accepts and everything on the tablet.
Okay.
Get the TeamViewer opened up, and then I'm going to ask you for some password numbers that TeamViewer is going to automatically generate.
Should have invited my kids to work today.
Yeah, today would have been a great day. Bring your kids to work.
They know how to work this stuff better than me.
Did you get it downloaded? Is it loading up?
Yes.
Okay. So open it up, and then you should have a ID number.
Yep.
Go ahead and give it to me.
1672623
Okay, I see your, I see it, and you should see now. So let me just go through here quick and do what we need to do here. Settings.
Yep, my kids. Yeah, I don't know. Right.
Although your kids would probably see if you do read it.
Yeah, they tried
They're
that.
not smart enough, yeah. 'Cause they're-
Is it downloading? Is that what we're waiting on?
No, I'm on the screen right now. Hold on, I can
Oh, okay.
share. I can share my screen real quick. Oh, I can't hold on. Max is gonna have to let me share my screen here. Max, can you
Yeah, you should be able to.
host disabled participant screen sharing is what I'm getting.
Oh, okay. All right, you should be good.
There we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, you should all see now their tablet on my screen here. So now I'm just trying to find the. So those are the connections. Let's do a search. Why is it not giving me anything? All right, we're gonna have to find it manually.
Never even set up a camera that we've used before. Yeah, for demonstration.
Eric, did you try going to locations? There's a location, I think.
Hold on. Airplane with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, data usage, more connection settings.
Going
Oops.
down. Keep going down. It's like under privacy, I think. Accessibility. Keep going down. Is that the?
That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
They certainly don't. Yeah. They certainly.
Eric,
Yeah.
if you just type in GPS and hit enter, it should take you to a location. Don't put in accuracy, just put in. It doesn't?
But I got,
There's no results found.
That is weird.
That is very strange. Yeah. Yeah. Um,
I got someone else is controlling it. It's on another screen.
Cody, was the Zoom 2 feature working for you though on the tablet? If we need to work on this later, you know
What feature?
on that map that you were showing, you know, the Zoom 2 to improve. Was that working for you?
I didn't see any map, if that's what you're
Okay.
talking about.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to see if you could still use your map, and then you know, like when you do Google Maps, you can push it and it'll zoom you right to where you're at on that particular point.
Yeah, I
Well,
didn't see that anything like that was working.
okay. Well, yeah. This is just mind-boggling that this is not coming up on the. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So we'll just do this manually then.
You might have to go into permissions, Eric, and allow Zonescan Smart to have access to his location.
Yeah.
Because
well, where's permissions?
maybe
Accounts.
hang on. It's different on mine because I have a phone.
Yeah.
But if you do
Applications.
privacy,
Hold on. Application.
yep. Okay.
Application. Application manager. Usually Zonescan Smart automatically asks for those permissions when you download it. So I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's on.
If I had set it up, I would have enabled
Yeah,
that.
this application access. Yeah,
Okay, so it does do that.
approximate network-based precise GPS and network. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it has the access. So all right, I'm going to assume that they're just having a tough time because they're inside their building.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
most
it
likely.
could change once you go outside, Cody.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so one more time, I'm going to open up your Zonescan Smart.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's going to zoom up. Okay, so now that the settings are we're going to go back into the the main menu. We're going to turn on the loggers one more time because the first time we programmed the loggers, they were set for a different time zone. So, are you folks planning on taking the loggers out today to doing a deployment?
We didn't plan on anything. I don't know where we're at with our scheduling at this
Okay.
point.
Okay. Okay, I tell you what, I don't need to turn them on then until you're ready to deploy them. Word of advice here.
Yes.
If you can't deploy the loggers today, that's fine. However, the next day that you are ready to deploy your loggers, you need to turn the loggers on again, because when you just turned these loggers on a few minutes ago, they are programmed to go off at 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. And
Right.
then that's it. They're going to go off at 2 a.m. Whether you deploy them or not, they're going to go off at 2 a.m. and collect their data. If you don't deploy them today, that's okay. They're just going to listen in the box that they're in, and then they'll turn off. But once they are turned off, they're done. They need to be turned on again to be deployed the next night.
Okay.
So
We're looking at Wednesday possibly.
okay, so Wednesday, you're going to turn the loggers on again. You're going to go through this feature of turning on the loggers. And then Wednesday, you're going to take them out into the field, okay, and deploy them. But you've got to turn them on again on Wednesday.
Okay.
After the loggers turn on, it moves ahead. I'm back on the main screen here, and you can look on the computer screen of, everyone can see the tablet that we're working on here. You did the program logger feature. After you turn the loggers on, you're going to go right into the deploy logger feature. And the deploy logger feature is where is the feature where you're going to plot the loggers in the ground. So you're going to your map will zoom up once you go outside. You'll see the streets and buildings and everything. It's a high resolution, very detailed map. You're going to take, at this point, you're done with your communication link. That comm link is done. The loggers are now turned on. All you need to do is take your tablet and your loggers and head out into the field to do your deployments. And you're going to pull up to the first valve location where you're going to put your first logger. And you can see the little, there's a little blue circle in the upper, I'm seeing
Yeah, we're just zoomed way in.
yeah, we are zoomed way in. There we go. Okay, I knew there was a map.
Yeah, we zoomed in.
Okay, so the little man icon is going to drive around to where you're at, and once you get to your first valve location, you're going to pop open the valve lid and deploy the logger. A word about deploying loggers down on valves. I'm assuming you're going to be deploying these down on valves, right?
Yes.
Okay, you're going to pop the lid. You can get a little pole with I don't know how deep your valves are.
4 foot.
Yeah, I have a pole with a little hook on them that I can hook on the loop of the logger and lower the logger down into the valve. Some people use string to lower it down, but whatever you can think of, or whatever you need to lower the logger down onto the valve. There's a strong magnet on the bottom of the logger. The logger needs to make metal to metal or magnetic connection to the valve nut, and you will hear the clink of the metal to metal, or you'll feel that magnet attach. If you take one of these magnets and put it up against a filing cabinet, you'll see how strong the magnets are.
Okay.
You need to make sure that your valve, the valve that the logger is sitting on, is clean. Okay, even if there's a little bit of mud on the valve and you lower that logger down and you're not getting that good magnetic connection, you've got to clean that valve out so the logger is making metal to metal connection with the bottom of the logger. Okay.
Yeah, we just tested that magnet. It's pretty strong.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll feel it. You'll feel it when you drop it down onto the valve nut. It'll make good connection,
Oh, yeah.
and then you're good. Okay.
Okay.
These loggers can go wherever there's contact to the pipe network. You can put these on hydrant valves, mainline valves. Those are your two best locations: your hydrant valves and your mainline valves, because they're closest to the main system that you're trying to monitor. You can put these on meter settings if you want to. If you don't have access to valves, but there are residential meters nearby, you can actually pop the lid of a meter setting and put the logger on, in the meter box somewhere. Now, most meter settings are all brass, so there's nothing magnetic for this logger to stick to. So what I usually do is carry a bunch of these clips in my case. And then if I have to put one of these loggers on a meter setting, I can take this clip and clip it on the shutoff valve, that little shutoff tab, fold the wings of the clip down, and now I've got a nice magnetic base for the logger to attach to. Okay. You do have to be concerned about the spacing of the loggers, how far apart you deploy these loggers. If you're on primarily asbestos cement pipe, you're looking at maybe 400 to 500 feet apart, which I think, looking at your map might be, a typical city block that you have. You got a lot of like winding roads and cul-de-sacs and stuff like that.
Yes, a lot of that.
Yeah, so 300, 400, 500 feet apart on AC should be fine. 300, 400 feet apart is ideal on asbestos cement. You can put these closer together if you want, but I wouldn't put them closer than 100 feet apart from one another. So anywhere from about 100 to 500 feet apart spacing is going to be good. Now, if you're on PVC is a lot tougher to listen to because the sound doesn't travel quite as well on PVC. These things need to be about 200 to 300 feet apart. So PVC is about 200 to 300 feet apart. Asbestos cement can go 300 to 500 feet apart. And then if you're on ductile iron and cast, these guys can go 600, 700, 800 feet apart. Okay. So the material of pipe dictates how far apart you can space your sensors. And the objective of these guys finding a leak and pinpointing a leak is that two sensors need to hear the sound of the leak. So you've got to keep in mind that if there is a leak at the center of a block somewhere, that leak sound is traveling down through the wall of the pipe in both directions and up the intersections and up the T's and up the meter settings and so on and so forth. That leak vibration sound travels a bit. And the objective is that two of these sensors are located close enough to to the leak that they hear the leak. And when two sensors are hearing the leak, Zonescan has the ability then to pinpoint exactly down to the inch or two where that leak exists on the length of pipe between the two sensors. So you want to make sure that you're giving these sensors an opportunity to hear the leak. You don't want to have one sensor, 2,000 feet away, and there's no other sensor for the sound to get to before it reaches that 2,000 foot away sensor, because you're just not going to hear the sound. So PVC, 1, 2, 300 feet. Asbestos cement, 1, 2, 300, 400, 500 feet. PVC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000 feet apart. Okay.
Okay.
back to the tablet now. Once you get out to your first location, there's a little deploy button in the upper right-hand corner here. It looks like the top of a logger with a loop with a down arrow. Once you get out to the first location, you open up your valve lid, you clean out the valve, and you're ready to deploy. You're going to click on that deploy button, and you will see a deploy window pop up, and the first logger in numerical order will appear in the window. You'll go into your kit, you'll pull out logger 506111. All the loggers have a serial number on a sticker on the side of the logger. And then you will deploy 506111 down into the valve. And once you're happy with the connection, you will take your tablet and hold it over the valve, because you are now going to GPS plot the location of 506111, but there's no GPS in the logger. The GPS is in the tablet. So you want to hold your tablet over top of the valve location. And then once it's over there, you're going to hit the OK button. Now I just hit the OK button, but the logger didn't get deployed, and I get a little warning down here: GPS not available. Use manual mode to deploy. When you get outside, it'll probably deploy it automatically. But because we're inside here, the tablet is saying GPS not available down at the bottom here. GPS not available. Use manual mode to deploy. I'm going to hit OK. And then it's going to give me a little instruction on how to do a manual deployment. Tap on the deploy button to see the purple dot on the map, then move the map to the correct position, and then use the down arrow to deploy the logger at that position. So now I'm going to hit the logger button again, the download button again. I'm going to get a purple dot. You see the purple dot?
Yep.
I can now move the map underneath the dot, so to speak, and position the map exactly where I am. Because what's happening is the GPS in the tablet is not reaching the GPS satellites. And Zonescan saying, hey, you're not getting great GPS coverage. This shouldn't be a problem when you're outside in the field deploying.
Right.
So now it gives you the ability to manually deploy the logger. So now I've positioned it where I want it to be. It's at the end of the street there. Now I go back in. Now I hit the down arrow, which is to deploy the dot in the. I'm happy with this location. I'm going to hit I'm good, and you're going to see now that it deploys the logger. It turns it into a gray dot with the 6-digit serial number of the logger right above it, and then down at the bottom of the screen you'll see deployed 1. Okay.
Yep.
That means you've done a correct deployment of the logger and you're ready to move on to the next logger. Okay. It's good practice to see if the logger is deployed on the map where you want it to be deployed. Now and then GPS gets a little wacky when GPS is automatically deploying the loggers, and it might put the logger in a different location. So after you deploy every logger, look carefully at the map to see if that logger is in the right position. Okay. If it is, great, then you're ready to move on to the next location. If the logger is not in the correct location, if you long press, go ahead and long press, take your finger and long press on the logger on the screen. And then you will see move device. Tap on move device. And now you've got 10 seconds to tap anywhere on the map. Go ahead and tap anywhere on the map. And you can see how it moves the logger to that new location. Okay, so that's how you fine tune the placement of the map. Most of the time, GPS outside is going to be pretty much spot on accurate of where your logger is being placed. So you shouldn't have to worry too much about manual deploying of logger. But now you know that when you go out and if the satellite is not good, you're going to get that when you try to do your logger deployment by hitting the button in the upper right hand corner. I'm going to deploy a second logger. So now I hit the deploy button. Internet's a little slow. Okay, now the next logger comes up, 112. I go to the next valve. I clean out the valve. I lower the logger down. And now once everything's good, I hold the tablet over the valve, and I'm going to hit the OK button. And it's, again, it's when I hit this OK button is when the GPS actually occurs. Okay, so I'm going to hit the OK button, holding the tablet over the valve. And you can see now we're still getting the manual. When you get that purple dot, that's just Zonescan saying, hey, I'm not getting good contact with the GPS satellites. Do the manual moving. You can slide your tablet underneath. You're sliding the map just by using your finger and dragging the map. Position your logger in the position that you want, and then go ahead and hit the down button one more time to turn that purple dot into a gray dot with a 6-digit serial number. And now you'll see deployed 2 at the bottom of the screen. Okay?
Yep.
Like I said, once you get outside, once you hit that OK button in the previous window, it's 99 times out of 100, it's going to directly deploy a gray logger with the 6-digit serial number. It'll be automatically deployed. You won't have to do the purple dot moving of the map. It'll be deployed. You'll see deployed 3, and then you'll be able to go right on to your next logger. Okay? And then you'll continue to do the deploy logger until all of the loggers that you want to deploy are deployed. And then you'll see your map populate with all of your logger deployments. Your 18 loggers will appear. You'll see 18 gray dots with 18 6-digit serial numbers. Once you're done deploying, you are now done with day 1 activity. You can turn off the tablet and you're done. Okay? And those loggers are going to sit there overnight and do their listening at 2 a.m. The next morning, when it's time to collect the loggers, you're going to go back into the 3-line menu in the upper left-hand corner. And this time, instead of hitting deploy loggers, you're going to tap on collect loggers. You'll drive out and you will now collect your loggers. This time, when you drive up to the first logger location, and you won't lose these loggers because they're all GPS mapped. If you actually long press on one of the go ahead and long press on one of the loggers again. In addition to being able to move one of the loggers, you will have the option to navigate to one of the loggers too. So long press on one of the loggers and get that window to pop up. It's a little lagging.
Yeah, I'll try the other one.
Maybe it's not. Maybe that doesn't. Oh yeah, I know why. I know why. I didn't deploy all the. Yeah, no, that shouldn't be that way. Yeah, it's not activating that, is it?
No.
Okay. I'll have to see why that doesn't activate on that screen. It might be a Zonescan smart feature that we need to. You'll go to your first logger, and you can go back when it's time to collect the loggers. You don't have to collect them in numerical order. You can just drive out to the closest one. Once you get out to the first logger, you're going to tap the up logger button. There's a logger loop with an up arrow now. You're collecting the loggers. Tap on that. And now the first logger is going to pop up in numerical. If you're at that logger, great. You pull it out of the ground, you hit OK. If you're not, you can put your cursor, you can back out the number and type in the number of the logger that you just collected. Okay. So now I said, you know what, I'm at 112. And now I hit the OK button. This time around, you don't have to hold the tablet over the logger because you're just collecting. I'm going to hit the OK button. So you can just have the logger in your truck at this point. I mean, the tablet in your truck. You can see now I collected logger 112. It disappeared from the map. And down at the bottom, I've collected 1. And then I drive to my next location. There's only 1 logger left. You can see it advances numerically. I'm not collecting 113, I'm collecting 111. I hit OK. And now I've collected all my loggers. There's no more loggers on the map. And I've done my collection.
And then there is a code. If you came in and you had to get them picked up in a hurry because you have, a fire going, you can do a collect all. Hurry up, gather them in your truck, and then hit one button, it'll collect them all. Then you can go
Right,
about your day.
right. There is a cheat that you don't have to collect them one at a time using this collect one at a time button. You can see up above that is a little up above and to the left is a little 2-logger loop with an up arrow. This gives you the ability when you click on it, you can see collect all the loggers deployed in the area that you just did. You hit OK, and all 18 loggers are going to get collected at once, and all the dots are going to disappear from the map. The reason that we have this collect all is to do a quick collection. Now, in the case if you deployed 5 loggers, you're probably going to remember where you deployed all 5 loggers. You're going to drive around and you're going to pick them all up, and you don't have to do the collect one at a time feature and waste time doing that. If you know where all your loggers are, collect them all, just physically collect them. And once you got all the loggers in your case, you've collected all your loggers, then you can go up into the collect all feature, tap on that, and then just collect all the loggers from the project in one fell swoop. But with 18 loggers, now and then you might forget where you put all the loggers. So I would recommend, doing collecting 1 logger at a time. So you don't lose track of any of your loggers. So the collect logger feature is more of an inventory control feature, so you don't lose loggers out in the field. Either way, your objective is to collect all the loggers in the area that you're doing, and there should be no more loggers on the map. And then you're going to go into the main menu one more time, and you're going to hit Get Data and Program Loggers. Now you're going to download the data from the loggers. At this point, you're going to need your comm link back on, and you're going to download the data.
Does that turn off automatically?
It does. If the comm link doesn't receive information from a logger in 30 minutes, it turns off automatically.
So I need to turn that on.
Yep, you'll need to turn on your comm link again. And then you're going to, you'll see the same screen that you saw when you turn the loggers on. The turning on the loggers and getting the data is basically the exact same programming in the app. So now you've got your 18 collected loggers the next morning. They've got the data from last night's listening is in the logger, and you need to download it onto the tablet. At which point now you've collected your loggers, you go into get data and program, and then you hit the next button at the bottom here. And then it's going to go through the exact same screen that you saw before, the noise level measurements and the correlation. You don't have to turn these off. You can just leave them on. And then you hit start. And I'm not going to hit start on your tablet here. And it's going to go down and download the data from all your loggers. And it'll go through them one at a time, just like it did when it turned it on. Okay? We're not going to do that because we didn't collect any data. The loggers will just say no data collected. Okay? And that is your process for turning on the loggers, deploying the loggers, collecting the loggers, and then downloading the data onto the tablet. Okay? Yeah. So what we will do is we will let you guys do a real-time deployment, whether that's Wednesday or whenever you decide to do that. And then we will schedule a training the following day to help you download the data correctly onto the tablet. And then we'll show you how to send the data to Zonescan Net. And then we'll look at the data for leaks. Okay.
And Cody, if you want to give me a call when you're getting ready to set those up and walk you through it, I'm happy to help you out with that.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, remember, you've got to turn these loggers on the day before that they listen. Remember, they listen at 2 a.m., so that's always tomorrow. So if you are going to deploy them Wednesday night, you got to turn them on Wednesday. Now you can turn them on and go through the program, and I'm just going to go through it one more time real quick. So on Wednesday, you're gonna open up your tablet. If you want to create a new area name, you can tap on areas and create a new name. Okay.
Okay.
And then hit OK. And then you're going to main menu. and then just work through your program loggers and deploy loggers. Program loggers, there's all your loggers, hit next. All your time settings are good now. You don't need to, these are always going to be turned on because you turned them on once, they're turned on, and then turn on your comm link, hit start, program your loggers, take them out in the field, deploy your loggers. Really easy. Okay?
And the only time you need the zone scan is for downloading them, and then when you bring back to download the history of it.
The comm link, yes, yes. The only time you need that comm link is when you're turning the loggers on
Right.
and then downloading the data. This does not need to go out in the field to deploy the loggers. The
Okay.
only thing you need to take out in the field is the tablet and your 18 loggers. Yes. Okay. And then, like I said, yeah, you know, if you on Wednesday, if you want a little assistance from us to turn them on, feel free to give any of us a call. JD, myself, Max will help you out. Max is also going to give you a little tutorial video that if you want to watch it, it goes through the turn on process step by step again, exactly what we did today. So you'll be able to watch that video now and you'll know, oh yeah, this makes sense. I know you'll be able to predict what the next step is on the video because you're familiar with the process. It's very simple. It's
It
very
doesn't seem too bad.
yeah, it's easy. It's easy. Okay, so that's Zonescan.
Any questions for us?
A question or two. So.
Can you hear?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we go out there and we place these, deploy these, and it shows where they're at, GPS and everything. So when we go out and retrieve them, they disappear off the map.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yep.
So essentially, we're going to name this area we're going to do, but there's going to be nothing on the map.
Good question. Good question. Good question. The loggers just disappear when you're doing the collect feature. Okay, because you physically are collecting them. The collect logger feature makes the dots disappear. Once we download the data back onto the tablet, that map is going to pop up again and you will see all of your 18 loggers deployed exactly where you deployed them. Okay, they're going to show up again. And then we're going to take that data and send it up to Zonescan Net, which is your internet-based dashboard where you're going to do all your analysis. And that too will have a map and all the loggers will be placed GPSed. Yeah, you're not losing any locations of the loggers. Those loggers are just disappearing because you're collecting them.
Okay.
All right, so so that collect logger feature, you need to collect all your loggers. So we help you to do that by having the dots disappear on the map. Imagine you went out and you collected 17 of your 18 loggers and you're like, where's the 18th logger? Well, guess what? It's the only gray dot that still exists on the map because you were collecting your loggers one at a time. As you pulled it out of the valve, the gray dot was disappearing from the map. So the collect logger feature, although the dots do disappear, they'll show up again once we download the data. Okay?
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, they automatically hold lat longs on your upload to zonescan.net and they'll give you addresses.
Yeah, well, by using the GPS feature, I assume somehow it would store this information.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then we piggyback off of Google Maps. So when the data gets sent up to Zonescan Net, Google Maps then will look at the lat long of the logger and give you the closest street address to where that logger is located also. So you'll have a lot of different ways to find that logger. So, but we will cover Zonescan Net and looking at data after you send up some real data from your system. It'll be real nice to look at real data. So we're not even going to go into Zonescan Net today. We're going to wait till you collect your loggers, hopefully on Thursday, and send the data up to Zonescan Net on Thursday, and then we'll look at the data at that point then. Okay? So I am going to end my team viewer session on your tablet.
All right.
We still have time to go over the 610 correlator with you guys, correct?
Yeah. Yep. We're still good.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Anyone need a break?
Yeah, if you want to take a five-minute break, and then you can put your loggers away and get the correlator up on the tablet. I mean, up on the table, and we take a few minute break, a little bit of breather here.
Yeah, let's do that.
Great.
Cool.
So
Eric, do you like my background? And then
Yes, I can't wait to see that.
kind of goofy.
I'm gonna work on it today. I'm gonna do a little work on it today.
Yeah, I didn't do it this weekend. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
Try to do it today.
yeah, we'll do it this week.
Be right back.
All right, let me get their 610 ready.
Are we close?
Hmm.
We ready?
I think so. Are they ready?
Okay. Brent will be right back, but we're good.
Okay.
We've got myself and Sean and that's Sean Zuber. And then we've got Brianna that's also joined us for this.
Great.
Yeah, we can at least start getting some of the antennas hooked up,
Yep.
and then we'll go over the functions of the processor.
Okay.
2 sensors. Red and blue antenna go on them as you see here. Go ahead and get those hooked up.
or yellow.
One's A, one's B. They directly connect.
I'm colorblind.
Yeah, then A goes on the red and B goes on the yellow one.
Yeah.
He's not colorblind, but that is either.
It's still Monday either way.
Right.
All right.
Okay. Those are your antennas. in your kit is also a set of antenna extensions. Make sure that they're in there. There's 2 of them. They're just thin cables. They're about 6 feet long.
Oh. Okay.
What are these?
That is the recharging unit. That unit is to recharge. Keep that on the tabletop right now. You should see some antenna extensions in there.
I'm getting there.
It's those are it. Yeah, let me see. Yep. Yes, those are it. Those are it. Okay, what those are for, if you have to lower your sensor down into a deep valve, once this flag drops below street level, you're gonna not be able to make radio connection with the device. So what you have to do then is unattach your antenna, put on the antenna extension, and then put the flag at the other end of the antenna extension, and then lower the sensor down into the valve, and now you've got like 6 feet of antenna. And then at the base of the other antenna extension, where the antenna part, that's magnetic. And then if I have my valve lid kicked off to the side there a little bit, I can put the antenna then just right on the valve lid, you know? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, this bottom of
Yeah,
this.
that bottom's magnetic. Yep. You just need to make sure that that the flag is up above street level. It's a radio connection between the flag antenna and the processor. So if the flag gets lowered down into the valve chamber, it really loses a lot of its radio strength.
I'm not seeing how the flag.
Uh-oh, you know what? I think I see what it is. Your flag's screw on.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have to get you different antenna extensions.
Yeah, because
Those are threaded. Yeah, those are the old threaded style flags, but you have a BNC antenna extension.
Yes.
So we will ship
Uh,
overnight antenna extensions.
I was able to connect them. That's interesting. Yeah.
No, look at the end of if he puts the end of the
Oh, to
antenna close
those.
to the
Yep.
camera,
Yep.
those are threaded, but
Yep.
it's a BNC connection. The other end does no, the other end doesn't attach either, does it? No, no.
Haven't tried. No.
There's a second.
Is there another set of
No,
antennas
that one,
extensions
the
in the kit?
antenna extension attaches to where that cap is. There's a cap on the sensor,
Oh
You
no
have to
no
unscrew
no
that
no
cap.
that would be your
and that's where
that would
the
be
extension plugs into.
okay, yeah, but
So
he
that
can't
should
get
go
his
into there.
he can't get his
That's got like 4
no
little things.
yeah,
I can't.
So that's the
not gonna-
charging
that's
port.
And then
Okay.
this
Yep,
end
yeah,
doesn't
that's
have
the
any.
charging port. Okay, we got to get you threaded antenna extensions. All right, that's okay. We'll get those to you. We'll get those to you.
That's on me when I
Yeah,
tested them.
that's these cables will go onto that.
Those
That's
are
my
the recharge. Yes, yes. Those two, all 3 pieces of equipment, your 2 sensors in your in your processor are a rechargeable device. So that charging plug that you have will charge up all 3 at the same time. The processor is charged by on the side is this little connection. Yep, unscrew that little dust cap, and that is where the one end of your 3-headed charger gets plugged into.
Yep.
And then there should be a wall adapter in your kit too, that you can plug the stuff in. So I would plug the stuff in, give it a good charge overnight. It probably has a full charge anyway, but that's how you charge the stuff up.
Okay.
Okay, and then that same dust cap on top of the sensors. That accepts the other 2 heads of the 3-headed charging cable.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can still go ahead, JD.
Yeah, you can't overcharge these, Cody, so it's okay
Yep.
to leave them on and you're not gonna hurt anything.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's no
perfect.
such thing as overcharging. Once they get a full charge, they'll automatically turn off. And just because we don't have the antenna extensions doesn't mean you can't go out and use these things. You just may have a little bit difficult time getting radio connection
Right.
if this thing goes down too deep. I also put these on the barrel of hydrants at street level. I'll put this thing right on the base of a hydrant like that
I'd,
because the hydrant's connected to the pipe.
I'd almost be afraid if somebody walking by would go,
Well,
what's this? And
Yeah,
then not
right.
take it.
Well, remember, you're not walking away from these. This tool is going to be designed. You're going to go out. You've got water bubbling up on the 100 block of Elm Street. You're going to put a sensor A on one hydrant. You're going to put sensor B on the other valve.
500 feet apart. Okay.
500 feet apart. You're going to shoot the leak. So you're not walking away from them at all.
Sure.
So you don't have to worry about them getting, pulled off the hydrant. So like I said, I do put these down on hydrants. If you also have a key that you can put down on your hydrant nut,
Yes.
your key is now above street level. You can put this right on the T handle of the key, and you'll have great connection. And then the antenna is well above street level, so you'll be able to do a fair amount of leak detection without the antenna extensions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe so.
Okay. While we're still talking about the sensors, the on-off button is at the top of the sensor. So go ahead and give it about a 2-second long press, both of them, and it'll go to a solid red. Once they're turned on, you should see solid red lights on both of your sensors.
Yep.
Okay? And that means that they're on. The solid red setting can also be adjusted to a blinking red sensor setting. The blinking red is if you are doing your listening on PVC pipe. Okay, so if you are on a complete length of PVC pipe in between, go ahead and press the on-off button on top of the sensors like another 1.5 to 2 seconds, and that'll turn the solid red. Don't hold it too long because it turns it off, but turn it on so it is a blinking red, and make sure that both sensors are blinking.
Got it. Is that yours?
It's like a 1/2 second push. It's not even a 2-second push.
Okay.
Okay, now you have both sensors blinking. That is the setting if you were listening on PVC. Okay, it sort of fine tunes their hearing, that they know that they're on PVC. And so PVC equals blinking. Any other pipe material, including all of your AC, is back to solid red. So if you give them one more tap without turning them off, they'll go back to solid red. Okay?
Yep.
So keep them on. They're on. We'll keep them on solid red. And now your processor. There should be a stub antenna that goes into the antenna end of the processor. In your kit, take a look. There should be about a 6-inch long antenna that will connect to the processor.
Right.
That's a BNC quarter turn connection.
Got it.
Okay, now you're all set. So now you're set. Your sensors are on. And now turn on the processor, upper left-hand corner button. Give it a good press. You'll see the Guterman logo, Aquascan 610 window appear. And then you'll see a graph window appear. Okay. If you hit that power button again, it'll backlight the screen. So hit that power button one more time, and you'll see your screen go to backlight. And then you can turn off the backlight too by hitting that screen. Okay.
And that's without it.
Okay, so real quick, working across the screen, looking at your screen, you'll see at the very upper left-hand corner, you'll see your pipe distance, which probably should say something like 500 feet or something, right? It's at the very upper corner, upper left-hand corner, yep.
Okay.
Okay, and then next to that, you'll see the pipe material. And then you'll see a 1,000, a 4-digit number, like 4,612 or something like that. That's the sound velocity. And then the final number at the very top, you'll see Q, which is the quality of your leak. And that'll be a percentage from 0 to 100%. You see that?
Yep.
Okay. And then down below, right underneath that line, you'll see the battery, which is the battery life in your processor. And if it's a fully charged unit, it'll be completely dark, a black battery. And then you'll see radio A and radio B. You see that? And that should be 5 black bars. It's just like your cell phone, 5 black boxes. If all black boxes are filled, then you're getting your radio connection. Do you see 5? You should have 5 black boxes on both the A and the B because you're right there. Do you
We
see
have
that?
6.
You have 6 black boxes. Count again. There's 6.
Are you? Oh, I'm up top. There's 5.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Okay.
was
Yes.
looking
Yeah.
at signal A and signal B down at the bottom. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Don't go down there. We're not down there. It's top
not
row.
down
We're at
there.
the top row right now. You're
Get ahead of
jumping ahead of
ourselves
me. You're jumping ahead. Hey, the 5 black boxes up at the top. That's your radio connection. Okay. When you are out in the field, pay attention to that radio connection. I like to see at least 2 black boxes coming from A and coming from B. Okay. Sometimes these sensors might be 600, 700 feet apart. You want to make sure that the radio signal that you're receiving from the A and B is just about equal. Okay, you don't want to be standing so close to one of the sensors that you're getting 5 strong bars from sensor B, and then sensor A, because it's 700 feet down the street and around a corner, you're getting 1 bar. Position yourself, try to position yourself in the middle of the loggers, of the sensors when you're doing your listening to balance out that radio signal, okay?
Okay.
Once you have the radio signal, the button right underneath the power button is your pipe. It looks like a little pipe. Go ahead and click on it.
Okay.
And then you should see a screen that says material, diameter, material and diameter, 2 windows. You see that? The material screen is highlighting. The box around the material is dark black. It's a thicker, bolder. Use your arrow buttons on the right side of the processor, the up and down arrow buttons, to scroll down and select the material of pipe that you're listening on. And you can see you got cast iron, ductile iron, cement line, steel, cement line, copper, lead, AC, PVC, you know, all the different materials. Pick which one's best for you. And then once you've made that selection, hit the check button. And that moves the window over now to the diameter window. And again, use your up and down arrows to select the diameter of pipe. So pick something like, 6-inch ductile iron or something like that. And then once you've selected your diameter, hit the check button again. And now the length window, which is down below the material window.
Is it supposed to be mm after it, or should it be centimeter?
Hold on. Okay, that should be inches. All right, let's go into let's hit the X button. Hit the X button at the lower right-hand corner.
Okay.
It might ask, do you want to discard your changes? Hit the check button for OK.
Okay.
And you're going to get back to the main screen now. Go into the M button, the menu button at the lower left-hand corner.
Got it.
Scroll down to settings with your down arrows.
Yep.
Once settings is highlighted, hit check. And then language should be the first item popped up.
Yep.
Hit check. Oh, that should be English, right?
Yes.
Oh, units. I'm sorry. Scroll down one more to units. Hit check and change that from metric. Hit check until you get imperial.
Got it.
Okay. And then I think you can hit the X button and that'll bring you back to the main screen.
Okay, we're looking better now.
Okay. Now go back into your pipe button. Getting a little extra practice here. That will never change. Now you're on imperial. So now you can go into your pipe and put in your. Now you should see inches for your diameter window, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and just put in like ductile iron 6-inch. So once you do your diameter and you hit the check button, now the length button, the length window, which is a small window right below the material, pops up with an L. And now you've got to type in your length of pipe between your 2 sensors. So you're going to have your wheel and you're going to measure in between your 2 sensors, okay? And you're going to type in that measurement number. There's 4 digits, so you can type in thousands, But if your distance is, let's put in 600 feet. So your first number will be a 0. So use your arrow buttons to get to a 0. Once you're at the 0, hit the check button. And you can see now the highlight moves to the 100 placeholder. Move your arrow buttons up and down to get to the number that you want. Hit check. And that moves the highlight window now to the 10s. If it's 622 feet, type in a 2. Hit check. It moves it to the 1s. Hit 2. And then it's going to move it to the decibel, which I just typically just put in 0. Once you get the distance all good, you can now tap on the correlate button, which is the button in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. It looks like a little mountain range.
Okay.
Okay? Oops. Now you should see on your processor, it should say processing, correct?
Yes.
Go ahead and someone tap on the table in between the two sensors to sort of create a leak. Keep tapping, like, and you should see now the leak being appearing on your graph. Keep going. You can do it right on top of the table.
Do it like a metronome. Just continue tapping.
Yeah, just keep tapping. The sensors are, and you can see how you're getting a nice peak on your graph. And what's your quality number in the upper right-hand corner say?
90%.
Okay. Yep. So basically, and then if it's still processing, you're going to see processing. So the processor is going to keep processing till it's happy. So you should see a nice high percentage, 91, 92, and you see a nice peak on the graph there. Okay. Is it done processing?
Yeah. 90.
Okay. Now that it's done processing, you should see underneath that graph a bold A and a bold B. And the bold A is going to give you a distance. And read that distance off to me.
282.
Okay, so that leak is located 282 feet if you measured from sensor A. And if you go over and read the bold B distance, that is going to be the distance if you measured from sensor B back to the leak. Both of those numbers added together will add up to the total pipe length that you put into the machine when you started.
Yep.
Okay.
500. So.
Yep. And that's how you find your leak using the Aquascan 610.
Yeah, to kind of help clarify what that thump test did, we measure off of vibration on the pipe. So that's how that algorithm is built into our equipment. So you being able to do that thump test, that tapping on the desk, is simulating the sound that vibrates from the pipe. So that's how you can see it. Kind of, you can test your sensors in the shop to see how they're working, if they're working correctly.
Yeah, when you do this little tap test that we just did, you should see this same result. You should see 92, 93%. You should see a nice peak on your screen, a nice peak popping up on the graph, and that's just telling you that everything's working fine. You can go out into the field. Now, a word about using the equipment out in the field.
Question.
Yeah.
Does it mean if you get a low percent?
I'm going to go into that right now. Very good. Okay. So now you're out in the field. You're not always going to get a beautiful 90%, 93, 94%. Sometimes you're going to get 80%. Sometimes you're going to get 70%. Sometimes you're going to get 60%. What you need to do is use the percentage to help you determine if there's a leak there or not. Now, a word about the device. If you're on ductile iron and cast, usually if there's a leak and you found the leak, it's going to give you a 90% and above, okay? As your pipe material gets down to the AC and to the plastic, you may not get as high of a percentage. You may only get about 85 to 90%. I sort of lower my standards a little bit on plastic because it's a little more difficult to hear. Remember, if you're on plastic, you're going to set the sensors to a blinking red light Both sensors are going to be blinking. And sort of use the percentage and sort of use the graph that you see. You can see when I did that nice 90%, it created, and you guys probably see it on your screen too, a really nice sharp peak on the graph between A and B. Don't worry about these bottom graphs right now. We're just looking at that top graph, okay? And you should see a nice peak in between your two A's and B's, your A and B. And that's what you're really trying to get out into the field, is a nice sharp peak. That sharp peak is going to equate to a high quality number. As that peak doesn't get quite as sharp and it looks like just a row of high uncut grass, your quality number is going to go down too. And that's just basically saying I'm not hearing a leak and my quality is 70% or 60%. And if I don't see a great peak appear on the graph like this, you're going to see a lower quality. And that's just the correlator saying, not a very good leak there. I would say anything, once that quality starts dropping below 80%, you're really not finding and not hearing much of a leak. I'm going to pay attention to really anything 80% and above as being dead on the leak. Okay.
Does that mean there's no leak, or it's just a tiny, tiny leak?
It might be that there's probably no leak, but it might also it might also be that one or two of the sensors just aren't hearing the leak. So if you are in an area, now remember, you're going to probably take this equipment out into an area where you think you have a leak. You wouldn't be using the 610 in an area where you have no evidence that there's no leak. That's what the Zonescan loggers are for, to go out and do the initial scouting for, should I come out with the 610 into an area? So now you're going to use the 610 typically where you know there's a leak or you have strong evidence that there's a leak, and you sort of know the block where the leak is coming from. So you know where to place these sensors. You know, you're not hunting for a leak. You sort of know where the leak is. If you're getting low quality and it's not giving you a good peak, there's a couple things that you can do. You can try to move your sensors a little closer together to try to surround that leak a little bit better where you think it is, and run another correlation to see if that improves your quality. Okay. If you do that and it still doesn't improve your quality, then the sensors just aren't picking up a leak. They're just not picking up the leak sound. But if you move your sensors closer together, and lo and behold, now you had a 70% and now you're up to 92%, you've obviously improved the environment for the loggers to pick up the leak, for the sensors to pick up the leak, and they've done that. Okay, and now you can be happy and confident that I've found the leak. Okay. Also, when you are out doing finding a leak, and you get this beautiful 92%, you get this beautiful peak, I would run the correlation a couple times. Hit the correlate button again and run a brand new correlation. And that correlation should be consistent. The next time you run the correlation, you should be getting the same distance between A and B. You should be getting the same high quality between A and B. And you should be getting that same beautiful peak between A and B. Okay? And I like running that correlation 2 or 3 times. And if it starts popping up 2 or 3 times, then I'm confident I've found the leak. Okay? You'll also find too that when you're on a leak, this unit can find the leak very quickly. If you're on a good leak, the sensors are deployed and they're hearing the leak. When you hit that correlate button, that leak is going to pop up as quickly as you just saw it on the table. It pops up within a matter of seconds. Your quality number is 90% within a matter of seconds, and the leak is very visible. Okay. If the unit struggles and is not giving you a nice peak, you're not getting a very high quality number, and it's been 30 seconds or so, my experience has been that you're just not going to pick up a good quality peak leak at that point. You're just not, that they're just not hearing the leak. in which case stop the correlation, try to position those sensors a little bit closer together, particularly if you're on plastic. Redo the pipe, go back into the pipe, change your pipe distances if you've put these sensors on a different run of pipe, and then rerun the correlation and see if that improves things. Okay?
Okay. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I think we both do.
Okay, we have some questions.
Great, great, great.
I have a question.
Yep.
If there's multiple leaks within a very short distance,
Uh-huh.
is it able to pick it up, or does it mess with the results?
Usually 2 leaks. If there are 2 leaks on a length of pipe between your 2 sensors, the processor does have the ability to hear 2 leaks. Once you get beyond 2 leaks and you've got 3, 4, 5 leaks, that becomes too much data really for the sensors to sort of sort everything out. There's just too much leak coming from the pipe, and you may not get very accurate results. However, if you've got 2 leaks on the same length of pipe in between your sensors, you will see 2 peaks. You'll get a high peak like you're seeing on your screen now, but you'll also get a secondary peak, a distance away from that main peak. The quality number is going to be high, and your main leak distance is going to be the bold A and B numbers underneath the pipe on the processor. They can only tell you one distance. So they're going to go with the best sounding leak and give you the distance from A and B of where that best sounding leak is, okay? However, there is another set of numbers underneath the bold A and B on the processor, and that is the location of the cursor. There is a cursor. You can see underneath the word leak on your screen, you'll see cursor. And it's a dotted vertical line on the screen. That is your cursor. If you take your arrow button right now and just push the down arrow button, you will see the cursor move. So go ahead and start clicking on either the down or the up arrow button numerous times. And do you see the cursor now moving across the screen?
Do you see it?
I do.
The objective is to move that cursor
Mhm.
to the second peak that is appearing on your graph and move it over top of the peak of that second leak. And now your numbers below the A and B, the non-bold numbers, indicate the distance from A and the distance from B of that cursor. So you can measure the location of a second leak, okay?
It works.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my concerns were, we go out there and set this system up to pinpoint our leak, and we actually do have a leak, but somebody at the same time, their irrigation starts up and is running a whole bunch of water. through a water
Okay,
system.
that's a good point. That
But
could happen.
We kind of have an idea where the water services are tapped, and sometimes they're 200 feet apart.
Absolutely. Yep.
You can isolate it that way, right?
Yep.
Just by
Yeah.
common sense.
Yeah, you'll see a peak appear on your map on your processor, and you can move your cursor over, and you'll see the measurement then out in the field is exactly where it should be,
Yeah.
because you should be able to predict where that peak is going to show up when you know that there's irrigation going on somewhere. You know where the service line is, you know that irrigation's going on, and therefore the peak will appear on the processor at a predictable spot. And you'll know then, okay, that's not a leak that we're looking for, because we know that the leak should appear 200 feet from sensor A. Sure enough, a 200-foot peak appears, and you know that that's irrigation. And then you could sort of ignore that peak and then concentrate on the second peak. That's
The other question, or the other thought I have is, so we have a lot of places in town, out on the drives, we have asbestos concrete pipe.
Mhm.
And then we will have a line going up a cul-de-sac of 235 feet.
Mhm.
It's PVC. We
Yep.
have a lot of these. We have typically only like maybe a blow off in the ground
Mhm.
or a water service to put this on the other ones. So we'll
Right.
have to get a clip like you say and clip it on a water service.
Yep.
So I just wonder, I guess at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well,
probably-
no, you're going to be using these during the day.
No, I mean the other one.
Oh, the loggers.
We
Yes,
set
yes.
Loggers up.
Yep.
Okay, we set one out here at the street.
Yep.
But 200 feet in, we're gonna put it on a water service.
Correct.
I guess at 2 o'clock in the morning there, that's gonna be pretty sensitive right there. If any water, toilet gets flushed or something, or
Right.
it might pick something up there that's not gonna be right either. Huh?
But that's why it does it 3 times.
There you go. Very good answer. Someone was paying attention to the training earlier on. Yes, those loggers are going to do 3 separate 12-second long recordings separated by 15 minutes in between each recording. And if there is a toilet flush at 2 a.m., the loggers are going to hear it because they are so close particularly on a cul-de-sac or on someone's meter. They're going to hear that toilet flush, but it's not going to be there 15 minutes later. And it's not going to be there 30 minutes later when the loggers do 2 more recordings. And
Okay.
they will ignore that toilet flush then because they didn't hear it in recording 2 or recording 3. Okay. Now with the correlator, the 610, you are going to be out in the field standing there. Now and then you will see a service draw appear as you're doing a correlation and it's doing its processing. Now and then you'll see a service draw, a peak will show up, and it'll be there for a few seconds, and then it'll disappear again. That's why I like doing multiple correlations with this thing, just like you're doing with your loggers. Run your correlation, you get your great leak, wait a few minutes, hit the correlate button again, and run another correlate without moving your loggers or without moving your sensors. You're using the same pipe and material and distance, and just do it 2 or 3 times with a little bit of a pause in between to make sure that you're not capturing service leaks on the processor. I mean, service draws on the processor. Okay, you'll catch service leaks. So yeah, just there's no charge for hitting that correlate button a few times and doing it. Do it, use it, hit it 3. If you're getting a great leak, it should be there each time that you do it. And then you run 3 correlations and you're like, yep, I found the leak. It's right here. It's 270 from A, 312 from B. Okay.
Yeah.
Now also a word about putting these sensors A and B on mixed material. When you put there are going to be incidences where you're going to put A and B and there's going to be a change in pipe material or diameter in between A and B. And you've got to tell the processor that there is a change in material and diameter. So if you go back into your pipe icon button, click on pipe, and then you see down at the bottom of the material, you see multiple. Scroll down to multiple. Click the check, and now you'll see a window from 1 to 9 show up. You can put in up to 9 segments of pipe. So now you're going to put in your first segment of pipe. So hit the check button again, and now your pipe input windows are going to appear. You're going to put in your first segment of pipe. You're going to put in your material, your diameter, and your length. And then once you're done with that, and you scroll through and you do all the checks, the 5 placements of the length, you'll see now it'll go back to the multiple pipe window. And now you're going to move your arrow button down to segment number 2. You're going to hit the check button. And now you're going to put in the pipe material, diameter, and distance for segment number 2. You got that? And you're going to do that for as many segments that exist between sensor A and B. Typically, it's 2 segments, but now and then I've done 3. Are you getting that?
Yep.
Okay. Now remember, when you were out in the field, you were always putting in the pipe segments as they run from sensor A to sensor B. So you will always start at sensor A and put in the pipe segment from sensor A and work yourself to sensor B. Okay? That's important. So A to B. So let's say A is at a hydrant. On a hydrant, You've got 10 feet of 4-inch hydrant stub out to the 4-inch ductile iron out to the main, and then your sensor B is down the main 400 feet away on 12-inch AC. So you're going to have 2 segments. 10 feet of 4-inch PVC or ductile iron will be your first segment emanating from A, and then your second segment will be 500 feet of 12-inch AC to B. Okay?
Got it.
Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it'll become super clear and way, pretty easy once you start using it. Even if you're shooting leaks that don't exist, I would say just use the processor and fumble through it and just learn how you're adding multiple pipe sections and then go back and remove it so that you're only shooting one pipe segment. But I like to always point out is this equipment is only as good as what we're telling it underground. So being as accurate with your wheel and capturing that pipe data is what this processor is good at, as long as we're feeding it the right info.
Right.
Okay. We would shoot correlations multiple. It was a practice at the utility I was at. We would do 4, correlations. If we had a good quality, we'd run 3 more just to make sure that those did mirror exactly what we saw those other times.
Okay?
Yep.
Now remember, the 610, this equipment here, you're going to take this out generally where you think you have a leak. You've got a leak on the 100 block of Elm Street. You're going to go out and try to pinpoint it with this piece of equipment. Now, on plastic, if you set up your sensors and have them originally, 400 feet apart, and you're just not getting a great quality leak, the peak isn't showing up every time you do the correlation, but someone still knows, all you water guys are all the same. Everyone sort of knows that there's a leak there. I wake up with an achy knee, and so it's got to be a leak, whatever it is. Someone's insisting that the leak is there, but you're not getting a great correlation. Try to move the sensors around a little bit. Put them on a different valve. Do a different configuration. You're still trying to surround that leak. Do a few different manipulations and placement of the sensors until you get that quality pops up to 90%. Then you'll say, you know what? We picked up the leak. It was a quiet leak. It wasn't quite reaching all the way down to sensor A, which was down the street too far. We moved it in. You can put these on meter settings. Both of these sensors can go on meter settings. If you're on PVC, again, with a couple of these clips in your kit, put them on the shut off, the on off valve on the meter, fold down the wings, and now you've got a nice place to put your sensor. These sensors also do not have to be positioned vertically, standing upright. They can be sideways. They can be upside down. They can be any which way, just so they're making contact with the pipe and you're getting decent radio connection from your flags. Okay. Now, until we get a set of antenna extensions, you're not going to be able to drop these things down 4 feet into the ground. You're going to lose radio connection. You're going to see that on the screen. Remember the 5 boxes up in the hold on. The 5 radio boxes up in the upper right-hand corner. You want to maintain maximum. At least try to keep 2 boxes for each flag. And again, put it on a key. If you have to lower it down onto a valve, put it on a key, just so you're maintaining antenna connection until we get those antenna extensions to you. Okay?
Yeah, I know that we're working on it already. Max, myself, and Todd.
Yeah. I'm sure that you already got the wheels in motion to get the right antenna extension.
And then I like to just also make a note, if you're using the valve key, we don't need to count that distance from the operator to that distance. Okay? So you don't need to include that.
Okay, the only distance you include as measurable distance of pipe that has pressurized water in it. So even if you're using this as a piece of a hydrant, you have it at street level, and you've got the sensor on a hydrant. If your hydrant isn't filled with water, 6 feet of pipe down to the hydrant boot, don't include that as part of your measurement because there's no water in it. Include your measurement just from the boot or from the valve that has pressurized water, and just measure pressurized water pipe.
Okay, if you're on a water service and the water is only a 1-inch pipe, either copper or whatever you use, do you want to include that because that is under pressure?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything under pressure. Anything under pressure. Yep. There's water. That's your measurement point.
Yes, you go from the valve and start working your way towards the tap. That'll be your first distance of
Yeah,
cup.
Yep, and you put that in the first distance.
And that would be also in order of depending on what's done. A to B only. A to B only. Yeah. Yeah. And once I always make sure, I always, if I'm using service, I always pay at service. I always count that as my starting line. And I always work from the small to the big. You don't have to do it that way. If you always want to put the B on the small, on the service, and work from B to A, you can do it that way. But I do the same thing every time. So when I'm feeling out at myself, A or B on the service. Okay, I always know that A is on the service because that's just my way. You know, it just makes it easy for me to do the same things, same message each time. So you always know that A on the service, B on the line. Okay, that is a brutal how you use extend. Again, using the Zonescan logger and the extend in coordination with you're going to do better with your service guy you paid time to. You've got the best line of tools now to do all the leak detection that your heart desires. Put the sensors out, the Zonescan loggers. I think I got one loss more. I got one loss. I don't know the idea where to go. That's what you send them out, deploy all 18, 300, 500, 600 feet apart area for a development. Basically, the next day. There's a leak there that you know about. You can send it out. Now you know exactly what lock you need down. Instead of having to do a whole neighborhood. You know exactly where you take your sand out there, shoot the leak one more time with the wheel, and now you've got a X on the ground and you're ready to because the same will do is you're ready for you. Okay.
Do you recommend if you're in an area you put one in their dead end line?
Oh yeah. Put one at the I saw a lot of those calls out. Yeah, put that lug off. Yeah, put the wheel valve that you
Yeah, so get those dead end lines.
Yeah, try not to skip those. Yeah, those have a lot of information in them because it's a short line pipe. It's usually serving like 10 houses.
Yeah.
So it's a high traffic pipe that can give you a lot of information. So yeah, put a sensor down at the end of those things. Yeah.
Okay.
And we don't need to put loggers at every intersection.
Yeah, good point, JD. Yeah, if you had an intersection, your typical intersection, street intersection, 4 valves.
Right.
Just pick the best valve. You don't need 4 loggers within 2 feet of each other.
Right.
Just pick one of the best 4. If you pop open a lid, it comes dirty. Just pop open the next lid. It's clean. Put the logger down, and you're on your
So
merry.
if you had that same instance, but you only had like 200 foot, for instance, 200 foot, 100 foot each side. Can you skip that valve?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
You don't. Yeah, again, these loggers. If you're out on AC, if that's your primary pipe, I've done correlations 800 feet when my loggers were 800 feet apart. New Orleans, after what was it, Katrina that went through there a number of years ago, it did severe damage. New Orleans is all AC pipe, and their street blocks are 800 feet apart. So they were putting our loggers at every intersection, 800 feet apart along their street lines. And at 400 feet in the middle of every street block is a hydrant. And the hurricane knocked all the hydrants over and they all came undone. So every hydrant had a leak. So I knew that putting our loggers at 800 feet apart, we were pinpointing every hydrant leak in the city of New Orleans. And that means that both your loggers are hearing 400 feet to the middle of the street where the hydrant was, and they were picking it up. So we had great results on AC 800 feet apart with the loggers. I wouldn't recommend putting them 800 feet apart. If you have the ability to put them 500 feet apart, that's great. There's no need to be putting them 100 feet apart though. Okay. Remember, you're putting the Zonescan loggers out in an area just to do a survey. You have no reason to believe that there's a leak there. You have no evidence other than you've got some water loss. You don't know. I mean, you guys have fairly low water loss to begin with. So you're just putting these sensors out just to fish, basically. You're not going to be disappointed if they come back and there's no leak on them. That's just basically you getting a better night's sleep knowing that, hey, in Magnolia neighborhood, we put the loggers out, we've got no leaks. So therefore, I'm pretty confident that there's no leaks there. And we're not going to worry about that neighborhood. We're going to take our You're right. Yeah, that we're going to pick up our loggers and move them into Wisteria Lane now and do that. And you know what? If they come back with no leaks, then we'll say, great, there's no leaks there. Let's move them somewhere else. And then you put them in Willow Park, and sure enough, now you get a leak back that you had no idea was leaking. You say, great, let's take the 610 out again, shoot it in that real quick area. You've confirmed it. Now you found a leak that you didn't know existed, and that's how you go from 9% down to 5%.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
So, yeah, like Eric said, you guys do have in your possession right now the best equipment on the market, and I can say that because I was a customer of it, and we had great successes with it. AC, we were shooting leaks, 600, 700, 800 feet apart on 12-inch, and we were getting it dead on. So I want you to be able to use this equipment, get the satisfaction we were getting. If you don't understand something, don't hesitate to call any one of us. We want you to get the most of this and see how beneficial it is to help you manage your system. Because I like I said, I've used it and I know the benefits of it.
I actually have a couple questions for you since
Uh-huh.
you
Yep.
experienced with it. When you guys use this on whatever system you used it on, did you do it for a full scale, city leak detection, or was it, did you just have a few areas that you were looking at in specific that you were trying to figure out, certain leaks?
So I'll answer how I use it. So I managed a water district out in Colorado, 500 miles such as yours. And we would typically deploy these loggers behind our valve operating program. So we were already on site. So we didn't have to implement anything new. The vehicles were already there in our fleet. The manpower is already there. All we did was bring in the leak detection equipment. So it was easy for us to continue doing our proactive maintenance, but also being proactive on managing water loss. So they went hand in hand very easily.
In your experience with that, what was the man hours involved? How many man hours would you say were added to your normal program?
For a day, I would say we had 40 loggers, and it would I'm going to estimate, but to deploy and program, and it would be an hour a day at most. However long it takes you to program the loggers, and you're already there. You already have the valve lift pop. So once you're done turning it and operating it, you already have that clean connection now. So then you just lower the logger in and you go to your next valve. So you're two birds with one stone, essentially.
Okay. And just for any of you who can answer, I do have one last question. Do you guys have a minimum leak detection, meaning gallons per minute? Is there a minimum of what this equipment typically picks up?
That's a good question. There's no way for the sensors to measure the amount of water loss. To do that, you would need to know the back pressure of the system at the point of the leak, and you would also need to know the size of the hole. If you had that data, you could figure out how many gallons per minute that you were losing, but we are not capturing that data with these sensors. So these sensors cannot tell you how much water you are losing on a particular leak. What these sensors can tell you, though, is through the percentage number, and the loggers will also give you a percentage of leak, just like the correlator, the 610, that 0 to 100% figure. That will just give you the percentage of quality of sound that the two sensors are hearing. Obviously, a 100% is the two sensors hearing, saying, hey, the sound that we are hearing matches 100% to each other, and therefore we are 100% certain that this is a leak. A 90% correlation is saying, hey, this is pretty darn good. It's 90%, therefore it's a leak. So the equipment cannot tell you how much water you're losing in a particular leak. It can just prioritize the percentage of quality of leak. Some very small leaks will give you a 100% correlation. A small leak actually produces a better leak location sound than a bigger leak. A big leak, although you might be losing a lot of water, might have a lower quality, maybe a 60 or 70% quality. So there's not a direct correlation between the size of the leak and the quality of the sound. However, what I tell folks is when they are undertaking a leak detection program is these loggers that you deploy tomorrow night are going to bring back and tell you that there's a leak in a particular area. You then now have the knowledge that there's a leak there. The authority can then prioritize those leaks based on not necessarily how much water we're losing, but how much of a nuisance that leak is. Now, your authority, granted, has a very low, you don't have a high water loss to begin with. We deal with, imagine if you have 45% water loss, you've got a lot of leaks out in your system, and you would then really need to prioritize how to repair leaks. And we run into this with customers. Hey, you know what? We've got 50 leaks out there. Some are 100%, some are 90%, some are 70%. How do we prioritize which ones to fix? Because we can't go out and fix all 60 leaks. So my advice is, if you've got a 100% leak, but it's not causing any other problems, it's not bubbling up, you're getting no customer complaints, then that would be a leak maybe that you can hold off on. But if you have a 70% leak that is bubbling up, or you're getting low water pressure, you're getting customer complaints, that 70% leak is much more important than the 100% leak, because you're dealing with real life issues. There's real water, there's real customer complaints. There's real water bubbling up in Mr. Jones's front yard and killing all of his grass. So that would be a much more important leak than the 100% leak that's not causing any complaints. However, that 100% leak, you know where it's at. So the minute water starts bubbling up, finally bubbling up, there's no delay. You can go right out there and say, yep, okay, we knew this leak was there. We were just waiting for it to show its ugly head. It is now bubbling up. It's now time to go out and fix it. But we knew it was there all along. So, so that's how you would begin to prioritize. Now, in your system with 9% water loss, every leak I think is going to be important. And once you find a leak, I don't think we're going to put these loggers out and find 40 leaks. You know, we're going to put these loggers out, and it's going to take 1 or 2 or 3 deployments before we find our first leak, at which time now you have the knowledge that the leak is there. And if you need to prioritize when to fix the leak, you can wait. You know, if it's not bubbling up, it's not causing customer complaints, it's not causing pressure loss problems, you know that the leak is there though. And now you can sort of manage your leak repair program, because you know that the leak is there. And if this week isn't the right week to repair it, that's fine. But you know the leak is there now, and you can begin to plan accordingly.
Right. Yeah, it helps you prioritize, and I feel like it improves the level of customer service we can provide, because we're not reacting to an emergency response. We can control it and identify that and let them know, hey, we recognize we need to do some system repairs, and your water's going to be off during these periods of time. Now you've just given them a heads up rather than shutting it off and knocking on their door.
Right, right. Okay, any questions?
What? No, we're good.
Okay, so our homework then is either tomorrow, Wednesday, or Thursday. You're going to turn the loggers back on and do an overnight deployment.
Yes.
And if you need help,
Yep.
Max has sent you links to the videos. This little training was recorded. We'll send you the link for this, and then you have our phone numbers.
Okay. Yes.
So we'll make sure that those loggers are turned on and deployed properly. We'll let them listen, then we'll collect them.
Yeah, we'll try and get those out Wednesday, turn it on, get them
Great.
set. And then maybe Thursday, get it with you again. And
Great. Yep. On Thursday, we'll collect the loggers. We'll send the data up to Zonescan Net, and then we'll log on to Zonescan Net and look at all the cool stuff that Zonescan Net has to offer in finding your leaks, recording your leaks, documenting your leaks, reporting everything, all the fun stuff. Then all the neat stuff that Zonescan Net will offer. You'll really enjoy looking at the data on Zonescan Net.
Right. And that's one thing I like to show during my demonstrations, person to person, is I would log on to zonescan.net and show you, what you just deployed on your tablet and how it looks on our cloud service. And that's the data you'd always be looking at as you log in each day. And it's great from an operator standpoint, plus a manager's standpoint, because you get to run historical data reports. And those are things that Eric can show us on Thursday when we upload.
Let me give you just a real teaser quick of what Zonescan Net looks like with a leak. Hold on, let me log onto my Zonescan Net, then I'm going to share my screen, and you'll see what the end result is, and it'll start to really make everything tick. Hold on, let me find a leak here.
Is same time on Thursday work? Same time as today?
For us, maybe a little bit later. It was 7 o'clock. Some of us don't even start till 8.
So does
You know what? Something we just thought of. We have training for myself, Brent, Lachons, and everybody on the day. So we're not having to deploy them, but you know how to do it. So we may not deploy them.
Okay, yeah, you guys run the
Okay.
show as far as deployment goes. You tell us, yeah, and if that means you guys need to regroup, you have JD's number. You know, we can work with. Yeah, we'll work with you.
Okay.
we
Yeah.
don't.
I hate, things just come up. We're busy.
That's fine.
But
Yeah,
we'll get it out.
yeah. We want to do it right, so we don't want to rush anyone or have someone there who needs to be there. You let us know, when you're ready to do that. We'll do that. Okay. Real briefly, I shared my. Yeah. I shared my screen. Can you guys see the Guterman Cloud Services?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what the Zonescan net looks like once you send data up. You'll see over here, I put out 4 loggers in my logger noise column. You're following my cursor. So those are the 4 loggers. You can see the 6-digit serial number of all the loggers. You can see the street address that I deployed them at. And if there's a leak between 2 loggers, as there is here, you'll see it show up as a blister spot, which is this little red spot on the map. Oh, where's my leak at? Where'd it go? Oh, hold on a second. And there it is. So this was a service line leak coming into this house. Actually, the tree here caused the service line to break, and that's how we pinpointed the leak. So that gives you, and it's at 117 LaPorte Drive, up in the upper left-hand corner of the map here, Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. So that's a real quick of what you can expect from your loggers and their ability to pinpoint and show you where the leak is. And then there's the ability to print a report with a couple clicks of the mouse. I now have a report that I can print out and take out into the field to help me with my 610. And you can see down here the correlation, quality of 100%, location 116 LaPorte Drive, logger 1, distance 446.5 feet from logger number 1 and 207.0 feet from logger number 2. I can go out there with my 610 now, reshoot it, get that leak right there, and then I'm good to go. And then this can be printed out, saved, sent to your supervisors, and this documents all the work that you've done to find that leak.
Right.
Okay?
I have one more question, and then we'll get off. Do you guys have GIS?
Yes.
Okay, so what we can do is we can integrate through KML file. You can put your pipes onto zonescan.net. Now you've just done automatic correlations. It already knows it's sitting on 6-inch cast iron pipe, and the algorithm's built in based off of that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're set up good on that.
Yes, if you have your system GIS mapped, we can take your GIS files and overlay them onto, embed them into Zonescan Net. Oops, let me show you what it looks like.
You can show them Musties if you want.
That's all right, I'll just do Aquarian's nice one. It's on the beach.
Yeah.
So you can see here, this customer, they have their GIS data embedded into Zonescan Net. Oops. So when a leak appears, then, as my program, as a leak appears, then you can see it appears automatically on them. So all that pipe work you see there is the data that they provided to me. So if you get your GIS, all I need is a KML file format. Export your GIS data in a KML file format, attach it to an email, and send it to me, and then I can upload your GIS data into Zonescan Net also. So you'll see your pipe system then when the loggers are uploaded. Okay.
Not the Zuber IT, huh?
There's Uber, Jeff.
Okay. We'll go someone and see if we can get that data.
Yeah,
to you.
yeah. Send me the KML file and I can upload it. It takes literally 2 seconds to do. Okay, folks.
All right.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Yeah, we're good. Thank you.
Great, great. Yeah, let's work on setting up a date and time to deploy the loggers, and we'll go from there then.
Yeah, definitely. I'll keep in touch with JD like we've been doing.
Yeah, yeah,
Great.
give me a call.
Awesome, awesome.
All right, guys. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
very
Have a
good.
week.
All right. Yep. Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot. See you soon.
Yeah.
All right. JD, Kim still needs confirmation on the antenna extensions. Oh, okay. Bye, guys.